to the Tupton tap.
Hello!
With Ollie, Bird and Charlie, yep.
How we doing? Alright?
There'll be blood, sweat and tears and plenty of beers.
Lovely
So
stuff.
come along and have a chat. It's the Tupton tap.
It's the Tupton tap, isn't it?
Right then, and hello and welcome to the Tupton Tap Pubcast. I don't know what episode we're on now, but we're pretty far into it.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. So we've got myself, Charlie. Hello. We've got Jack.
Hello there.
And we've got good old Ollie.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. You may notice we're not videoing this week. We've made a decision to go fully audio, so we sound lovely in your ears. Really nice.
Hopefully.
Mainly because me and Charlie just filmed the quiz this week and we both got face paint on.
Oh yeah, so
Film.
Jack's currently dressed as a zebra, and I'm dressed as a kitty cat.
Because
Lovely
why
kitty.
not?
Why not? We may as
May.
well. It was all basically, it's all very topical, which we'll get into.
Get into it. Don't worry.
So this week we've got an interview with Mark Booth from Crosspool Ale Makers. That's in Sheffield. We're going to have a quick chat about the new gun restrictions that have been de-restricted.
New gun restrictions?
No, the restrictions, no gun restrictions.
I thought you said gun restrictions.
Such as McDonald's opening, zoos, drive-in cinemas, and we're also going to cover any pub news that may have occurred in the past week. We've got a lovely beer review, courtesy of Ollie, which is a Sieraa Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA, and
Very nice.
hopefully we'll pull out some embarrassing stories along the way.
I'm sure I can do something, guys. I mean,
Well, Jack's definitely had enough to kill a zebra, no pun intended.
I'm currently drinking the Devel triple hopped Citra, which is 9.5%. So I'm sure by the end of this, I'll have plenty of embarrassing stories. Maybe even some new ones.
Can you tell us what hops are in your triple hop?
I've not actually read. I should have actually, shouldn't I, as a beer review expert?
You
It's very
uneducated
nice. That's all I can tell
swine.
you right now. It's very nice.
Well, while you're looking, Jack, I'll tell the viewers what I'm drinking.
Go on. then.
I am drinking some blackberry squash. No hops in it at all. Just hydration with a bit of sweetness. What about you, Ollie? While Jack tries to figure out what a beer is.
What am I drinking? I'm actually drinking nothing at the minute. I'm completely sober.
You are hydrated, as they say.
I'm not even hydrated, mate. I've not even got any water here.
Why, your taps don't work?
Well, they do. I just don't want any water. So.
Well, fair enough for
There
Jack.
is something funny for you. It's all in Belgium.
Really? A Belgian beer?
It's in Belgium, French Canadian, and it says AUS, but it's definitely not Australian. Because Australian speaks English, and it's not English, so I can't tell you.
Well, luckily, Google will assist us. And so the Devel Triple Hop is a Citra beer. So obviously it's got Citra hops in it.
Well, yeah, you'd assume so.
You'd hope so. You use the aromatic hop called Citra, and the aromatic third hop is grown in the Yakima Valley, which has fresh hints of grapefruit and tropical fruit.
Is it triple hop with Citra then? Is that all it's got in it? Citra, and Citra?
Well, it may have been like hopped in different stages of the brewing process. That could be the reason.
Maybe, yeah.
So like
That might
dry
be it.
hopped and
So
then
not rather than 3 hops, it's got triple hops as in it's been hopped at 3 stages.
yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Does it say Citra at the bottom? Is that what it says?
Yeah, it says. I'll show. You guys at home can't see this, but it's the normal Devel badge, and then it's got a green band along it, like that. Charles, you can see that. A green band along the bottom that says triple hop, Citra.
Well,
Very
That's
nice,
all it
very
says.
nice.
But all I can say is, as somewhat of a beer connoisseur, maybe not as in taste notes, but as in I drink a lot of it. It's very nice.
Is it lovely?
Extremely. I mean, I don't recommend drinking it quickly because it's very strong. It's more of a sipper, but it's
But I'm
extremely
sure you drink it
palatable.
quick, Jack.
I've just jumped onto Rate Beer just to see what the fans say. It's getting it's an overall got a 98.
Is that out of 100?
No, it's out of 99.
Is it? I'm assuming that was a joke. I took
It
you
was
serious for a second.
Very dry joke. Everyone's just giving it like 3.9s, 3.7s.
It does say on here, voted the best triple hop ever.
Is that made up?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
that is-
know. I don't know if Devel's made that up or not, but it says on this on this bottle,
Is that
voted
self-proclaimed?
the best triple
That's it,
hop
it's a bit-
ever.
It doesn't sound great, does it?
It's like when you say, I'm so good at this. It's like more self-proclaimed. I'm so good at running. I'm not. I'm terrible. If you
I
put
am
me
the best drinker ever.
and then he falls asleep after one drink.
I'd fall asleep right before the Tyson Fury fight.
What happened there?
Andy will know this if you're watching.
He's a patron of the pub. If anyone doesn't know Andy.
Patron of the pub. He got ripped off basically by some builders, and long story short, his house was like left unfinished, and so as a good pub does, and as good friends of pubs do, and as good friends of people do, we decided we're going to go and help out and help him like get to a place where he could finish off his house.
So you were basically a builder with no building experience.
A builder with absolutely no building experience, and we were helping out all day. You know, we were there at we were meant to be there at like 9, but I rocked up about 10 because I slept in because I was at work till like 3 in the morning or whatever.
Professional.
And rocked up when we were building all day, you know, knocking out walls and stuff and all that jazz. And then at the end of it, Andy had got like he has one of these like self-pour beer machines. You know, it's like you can pour yourself a beer, put it at home.
Yeah, I think if you go on like I think Beer Hawk, they sell a lot of that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So it's the Heineken one as well, I think.
Yeah,
Heineken.
So it's like. It's basically like you can pour yourself your own beer at home, but it's not like coming out of a can or a bottle. It's like an actual like draft.
It's a keg. It's a very small keg in basically a fridge in it.
Yeah.
It's own self-contained fridge and go on then, Jack. And then what was the
basically it got Jaipur in. If anyone local to us will know Jaipur, surely. But it's from Bakewell by Thornbridge Brewery, a very good beer, quite strong, like 5.6 is it? I think. Off the top of my head.
5.5.
Very nice. Anyway, I drank a lot of that, and then went to the pub, and then drank a lot more, and then we were meant to be going back to Andy's to watch the Tyson Fury fight versus Deontay Wilder. This is the rematch, the one he won, the one he actually won, the one everyone wanted to watch, and I passed out basically. I managed to just get home, and then I passed out on the settee, and I woke up about 3 hours after the fight had finished.
I'm pretty sure the way this went was I went to you. Because I think you'd been working all day as well, so you're just tired. And I was
knackered. I'd not eaten anything. I'd had a sausage sandwich all day.
It was one of those things I do it a lot where I'm not actually drunk. I'm just like knackered, and I'm just like I've fallen asleep. And I went to you, I was like, Jack, I'll take you home, mate. And you're like, yeah, sure, mate, sure, whatever. And then I remember just taking you home. You're just like in like a weird tired daze. It was hilarious.
It was like I remember it. I was like I was in a trance. It was.
I think it's for you, bit. It's like when it's been before we got. So your house is about halfway in between my house, right?
Yeah.
On the walk home, so I always have to walk you home drunk. And there's just one night. Actually, no, this is a different story. We're walking through town after going on a night out.
Yeah.
Me and Bert were both pretty drunk, but I had to look after him obviously. And he's in McDonald's. Went to the McDonald's in the middle of Chesterfield, and he was eating his wrap. And mate, there was stuff going everywhere. And we were walking down the high street or whatever it is, like the main street where Vicar Lane is.
Yeah.
And we're walking down there. And Bert keeps walking into walls. Keeps walking to like shop fronts or a buff, and then I get angry at the wall. He goes, whoa! And keep walking. So I'm there recording him. And we had to try and get home. Like, honestly, I had to try and find a taxi to get home. So we eventually got a taxi. Got back to Bert's house, right? So I was going to walk back from Bert's house.
Yeah.
And it's one of the big ones. So Bert was in like the very back, so like the van, and he was in the very back. And you're falling asleep, and I was in the front. I was like, hold on, pal, let me go and wake me mate up. So I'm slapping Bert, like, oh, Bert, home, come home. And this taxi driver starts like getting a bit aggy at me. Like, what's up, pal? He goes, give me the money. It's like, mate, I'm not going to run. Have you seen the state of him? He can't even walk, let alone run. Give me a minute, let me make sure he's alright, because I think he might be dead. He goes, mate, I want the money.
Dear.
It's like, alright. So I'm sorting out this guy the money. Bert's asleep again.
You're rolling out your big £50 notes. You're like, yeah, let's go.
me bundle.
Yeah.
No.
So, from these stories, obviously, we don't condone excessive drinking to the point where you fall asleep in a taxi and Ollie has to beat you up to wake you up.
We've done it so you don't have to.
Yeah. We're putting in the man hours so you don't have to. But I don't know. There's some of the. Bert is the kind of guy. He literally just. He gets to a point and he just falls asleep and then he's unwakeable.
Honestly, Bert,
I'm fine until about probably about 9-10 pint in, and then I'd have one more pint, and I've gone from being fine to be asleep on the floor in 30 seconds. Gone. Like
No,
that.
it's more like your third pint in there. And
All
that's
right
it.
then, Leslie.
Isn't it the tagline of when you've had enough? When you've had enough, you've had enough.
Yeah,
It's like-
I should be the poster boy.
No, I think you're like the opposite. I think really.
Honestly,
Don't be like this person.
I deserve childminder bills. Honestly, the amount of time I've looked after
Can you
you.
remember when you
drunk.
walked me home after my birthday party, after my 18th?
Oh Jesus!
I'd been 18 like a month or so. Me and my
lad.
mate had just turned 18, and we had like a surprise birthday party at a snooze
Wait,
centre
can
near
I
our
just
house.
add? I didn't get invited to this party either.
No, don't blame me. It was a surprise. I didn't know.
It
So
was a surprise.
Surprise,
the best bit
surprise
about
to
that-
me as well,
I
Jack.
I was we were like,
walking home
my
with
mum
you.
was like, all right, we're going to snooze centre for a meal, and then we're going out round Cross, and I was like, that's fucking weird. I remember saying to her, why are we going round Cross? And I was like-
This is a terrible birthday.
I was like, I'm genuinely like, why would we go out round Cross? There's like 3 pubs. Why don't we just go to town? And she's like, no. It's Jay's birthday as well. He wants to go around Cross. I was like, all right. And I was
Alright
sat in the
then.
back of his taxi on the way to
Yeah,
the snooze centre.
you're
I was
like,
like,
yeah,
why
okay,
do you want to
Mum.
go around Cross then? He was like, what are you on about? And he was like, what are you on about? I was like, oh, well, what's he on about then? And then I was like, thinking like, what a weirdo. He just has to go to snooze centre for his birthday for a meal. I was like, all the places he could go for a meal, he was to go to snooze centre. And then I remember walking in, and there was like all our family there, and like all Jay's family there, and all everyone. I was like, what are you lot doing here? And everyone was like, it's a birthday party for your bellend. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. And anyway, long story short, I got very drunk on a lot of beer because people kept... And this wasn't my fault, to be fair. I don't condone heavy
we don't
drinking.
condone
Everyone kept
drinking on the
buying me
podcast.
beers because it was my birthday and I got very drunk. And then we went
The
to
best bit-
McDonald's and I ate a lot of food.
right.
And then
Let
Ollie
me
like
take over,
walked me
'cause
home.
You can't remember this bit.
No, I
but you
can't
were that
remember this
drunk.
bit. Ollie
The
walked me
best bit
home.
where Jack was in a shirt, essentially, right? And he was walking. It was quite cold, so we went to Mackey's. He had his Mackey's. He dropped the burger on the floor and then started eating it again. Don't condone that. But I've got a video
Don't
somewhere.
eat floor food.
But we were walking home, and on the way back, some lad sort of ran up to us, like near Mackey's, and goes, "Oi, pal!" And I assumed he knew you, right? He goes, "Oi, pal, is you alright?" Like, yeah, mate, just drunk, getting home. He goes, "Oh, is he cold?" Like, yeah, big. He goes, "Oh, hey, take my jumper, mate, and yeah, put it on him. He's not cold." Like, all right, pal, I'll give it you back. Yeah, he goes, "Yeah, sound." I assumed I knew him, right? I had no clue who you were. Right, and to this day, I still don't know who that hoodie. Do you have that hoodie still, bro?
Yeah, I've got it here right now. Obviously, we're in lockdown. I'm living at my girlfriend's house, and I still wear that jumper to this day. It's Jack and Jones. It's
what-
I
navy.
don't know whose it's
What
from.
a good Samaritan that guy was.
He was.
But
What a great guy.
I assume he must have known us.
And if you're watching right now, let us know, and I'll get the jumper back to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
go
To this
full-
day, I
bit.
do not know whose it was.
We could take it full circle. Get the jumper back. We could come on the podcast.
Yeah.
How does it feel for Jack to have your jumper?
For over a year now.
That's it. That could be breaking news. That could be Jack.
It is breaking news.
It is. My God. Yeah, I think Jack is the best person for. You plan a surprise party and give him every hint possible.
Yeah,
And I still don't know.
definitely.
Fun story, my mate Laura, who was in the same, like, I was at school at the time, obviously, because I was 18, I was in sixth form and everything. And I got a message off Laura. She went, "Am I invited to your birthday party?" And I was like, I remember thinking, what fucking birthday party? And then I messaged her back, like, what are you on about? I said, and she texted me back. Obviously, someone had told her, like, it's a surprise. You're not meant to be messaging him. And she put back, "Oh, sorry, I meant this other Jack." And I was really confused. And I was like, what is
Got
she
away
on
with-
about?
Still
And then I was
got
like-
away with it though.
Yeah, and he
That's
still
such a
got away
wild
with it,
thing
and I
to do,
still had
bless her.
no clue. It was
Oh.
mental.
That
That's
is.
so funny.
It was a
you're
good
just-
night. It was a good night.
You are despicable, Jack.
We had
You
a
are
crap bar.
despicable.
We had not barbecue. We had a crap disco, and it was brilliant.
Oh yeah, I remember the guy. He kept putting like a plastic like cover over his mixer because like we were all like hammered and like drinks going near him. So he kept putting his plastic thing over his mixer like every time he'd change something.
And then our Gret, shout out to our Gret, kept going around with Sambuca shots, didn't he? And I must have had half a tray. I was
Oh
hammered.
no, God, he did.
Yeah.
I had a couple there.
In
and I was
fact, that's the last thing I can remember.
like, really,
The Sambuca shots coming out.
that does not surprise. I remember, was it Ross who was having a fight with a bin?
Yeah, Booker
Yeah.
fell out with a bin. It was fighting it because it won't open.
I assume
assume
Booker's one of your friends.
Yeah, my mate Ross Booker, shout out.
Give a bit of context for the audience on who you were talking about.
So my friend Ross, he
My
obviously
mate
invites my birthday
Mark,
party,
down the road.
and we went in Mackey's and we're all quite drunk. And the bin, he was shouting at the bin, thinking it was one of these automatic bins, shouting it's open sesame and trying waving his hands everywhere, trying to get it open. And when it wouldn't open, he started trying to fight the bin.
Was he a wizard? Open sesame.
Open sesame. Genuinely, that's what it was like. It was like it would just. If you asked nicely, the bin was just going to open for him.
Again, guys, we're not here on the podcast to condone drinking. Just don't do as we do.
Yeah, we've done it, so you don't have to. That should be our tagline.
Oh God. Has anyone seen the new government stuff that's come up this week?
Yeah.
They've de-restricted some stuff. McDonald's has reopened. Talk about McDonald's actually.
Yeah, we've just been on about Mackey's.
The queues.
My God. 40, what was it on the first night? Was it like 50-40 minute queues just to go in, just to get to the drive-thru?
I think it could even be more, Jack.
And then you can
hour and a
only
half.
And you can only spend £25.
So
From what I heard.
£25 at McDonald's is a fair amount.
Is it though?
Like-
I mean, like, what, a Big Mac meal's a £5.
Well, do
Maybe
you
even
remember?
more.
Do you remember that time? So Ollie, remember this? We were in the pub and I think we closed early, and it was just there was a staff in the pub, and we're like, having a drink, a bit of a little staff do, and we're like, let's have some food.
Is this when you did the Mackey's run and you
Don't
come back
give
with
it
like
up, Jack.
40
Don't
packs
give it
of
up,
chips
Jack.
and sorry, go on, carry on.
So me and Ollie were the sober ones of the night, so we were tasked with it to go and get the food.
Well, you weren't. Ollie was. So Ollie drove and you went in the passenger seat.
Oh yeah, that's correct. So I was Ollie was the sober one, and we got this massive long list, and we're like, this is gonna be so much money. And then we got there, ordered it. I think we ordered like 10 cheeseburgers, like 10 fries, and then we had tons of like all these chicken strips and all this job.
It was
and
when
then
they
literally
did Big Mac sauce. Can remember you come back with loads of Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, like the lady. I don't know how we got talking to him about it at like the counter. Like, you can get the Big Mac sauce. And we're all like going amazed by it. And like obviously, Ollie was like sat there just like going, "Oh, just come on, hurry up. I want to go back." And then and basically we just got loads of Big Mac sauce, and I think it cost like 25 quid for all this food.
So I really can't remember, to be honest with you.
You drove us in your little Polo.
Come on.
Yeah,
You've
I
got to
remember driving you.
Even I remember this now. I'm
driving you.
bladdered.
And I remember the night. I just don't remember how much it was.
I reckon it was 25 quid. I'll have a receipt somewhere. And basically, it was for 25 quid you can get an absolute monster of a meal.
Yeah.
So, don't know. Maybe people are driving out of McDonald's after their hour and a half wait, just like with like 100 Big Macs.
I'll have 49 Big Macs, 60 cheeseburgers.
And don't forget the Big Mac burger sauce.
Yeah.
But I can't understand it. Why are people queuing so long for McDonald's?
I mean, don't
Because
get me
there's
wrong.
nothing else to do.
To be fair, you're probably right, Ollie.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
else to do.
I love Mackey's as much as the next person, but I won't queue 50 minutes. But I suppose you're in lockdown. If you've got nothing to do, why not?
Well, that's it, innit?
You're only going to be sat at home doing nothing, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. And I suppose. Well, I went past today though, and there's no one there. There's no queues.
Probably because the initial excitement.
It's not that busy at the minute. Like, it's
No.
like it's a trickling. Like, I think they're constantly serving people, but I don't think it's not queuing. Definitely not.
Probably
No.
because the initial excitement's worn off. You know what I mean?
That's it. It's novelty's worn off, I reckon.
Yeah, Mackey's are open now.
And then now's our time to strike. We go in there and get 100 Big Macs. They won't see us coming. We'll pay for them, of course, but
No, we're going to steal them. Run off.
that's it. Drive through. But apparently, I've heard that they're opening up the stores as well now. They're opening up. You can go in and socially
Are they?
distance to eat. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I
Oh,
don't-
like they did before, like full on lockdown, where you could where they had standing grids.
yeah, maybe it's that.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I prefer the
Maybe.
driving. I think it's
yeah.
it's
I
better.
always go for the drive-through anyway. Really.
yeah.
Unless
Talking
it's
of
really late at night.
talking of driving, they've also said the government about drive-in cinemas can reopen.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone ever seen a drive-in cinema?
No.
Not
Other than-
outside of movies, no.
Other than so I've seen one in like a game or something.
In like American.
Fallout
Apparently, it's
4.
an American thing, isn't it?
It is very much.
Yeah.
Well, good old Boris was like, today was like, oh yeah, and drive-in cinemas can reopen. I was like, where does he live?
I think we should just open one. We might reopen one. Let's just start one.
That's it, we'll just get a massive projector and then wait till it goes dark and screen, I don't know, what movie do you want to screen on? What would we do?
I mean, my favourite movie ever is Rocky.
I was going to say that, let's do Rocky.
Rocky's a great movie to start with. In fact, they've just released a new documentary about Rocky.
Have they?
I mean, I can't comment on it because I've not seen it, so we'll leave that there just for you guys to go and investigate yourselves. But
That was a very Rocky review, that was.
yeah, I follow Sylvester Stallone on Instagram, and obviously creator of Rocky and star in Rocky. He were like promoting this documentary they're bringing out about Rocky. So
Oh, that'd be an interesting. We could show that at our driving cinema.
that's it. We'll do it in your well. The pub garden probably isn't big enough, but your mum and dad's garden, you know, Damo and
Yeah.
Julie's garden,
Well,
I reckon.
Me and Ollie were chatting about this, weren't we all? We're saying
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
like, do you want to put on the pub? And I was like, well, the problem is we could probably get a lot of noise complaints from having all the Rockies like
It's a bit
blaring
loud, isn't it?
into
Driving
Tupton.
cinema.
Adrian! Like,
So I don't think the neighbours would be too happy, Charles.
unless they really like Rocky. Maybe if we did it next door to Jack's house. They wouldn't mind. But then we had a chat about my parents have got like a field at the back of their house, and like so everyone gets a car stuck on the field.
Cutting a hole in the edge.
Rocky's on repeat.
We're good.
Everyone's
Rocky
getting
1, 2,
crazy.
3, 4. After
And then-
that, it goes downhill. But Rocky 1,
And
2, 3, 4.
And then we do the documentary as well, and then
Yeah.
we loop it.
That's it. Perfect.
We'll do all the deleted scenes.
£2 entrance.
Look at
100
that.
people. That's 200 quid. That.
Socially distance. Bit of popcorn.
50. Do it like cinemas. £2 to get in, but then it's 15 quid for a pack of popcorn.
Yeah.
Or you just go to the McDonald's and get 50 cheeseburgers and bring them
Yeah.
in.
And if you bring your own popcorn or cheeseburgers, you get shot.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe a bit too extreme, but
Oh, that's amazing.
we're not really.
Joking. If you come to the Tupton tap, I won't shoot you. I promise. I'm soft as a brush, really.
Deary
Damo
me.
will.
Deary me.
Damo went to the Tupton tap with a baseball bat against me.
Oh
Sure
my
Charles is alright.
God, you need to tell that story,
We
Charles.
can't tell that just yet. We'll tell that at some point.
No,
but
I
not
can,
today.
I'll tell it now. I'm happy
Go
to tell
on,
it
say
now.
it, Charles. Go on.
Go on then, Charles.
So basically, one night I was locking up. I've got loads of locking up stories.
I think it was my birthday, weren't it?
It was Ollie's birthday, and Ollie had been in, and basically in the end I've gone, Ollie, sling you up, mate. I know it's your birthday, but it's time to close up. And he's like, all right. He went back to his mate's house and had a curry, apparently. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what he told us. And then basically I was just locking up, and my phone at the time had a cracked screen, so it was just pocking down at everybody. And he basically I pocketed down my dad at this was 1 a.m. He's in bed. I wake him up, and then obviously he answers it, but I don't know. And I'm in the cellar locking everything up, and I'm moving some barrels around. I can hear scuffling, and barrels getting thrown, and basically he thinks that someone's broken into the pub and they're trying to get me. And so he's there going, he's panicking.
Should
Going,
we just mention your dad's an ex-copper?
yeah, my
Yeah,
dad's an
just
ex-cop,
bit
so
of
he's very
context.
much he kind of jumps to a conclusion in terms of.
A firearms officer as well, weren't he?
He was a firearms. So he's very much he's like, oh God, something bad's happening. Got to sort it out. So he's in his pajamas. He jumps in his car, in his pajamas and his slippers, and he's driving down Ashover Road. He when he was getting out the drive, he knocked his alloy on his car. He blames me for it. And then he's tells me, call the police, he's getting broken into. And obviously I'm here innocently packing up and just locking doors and all that jazz. And then I'm just I've just come out the cellar, and I was just about to go and turn the lights off and put the alarm on. And I just see this figure outside the window. I'm like, the hell's that? And I open the window, it's my dad in these checkered pajamas. Going, Charlie, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, who's this silly old man? I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, you called me. And I went, no, I've not. You've called me. He sounded like, and I was like, what are you on about? What about me? And then he came in and basically you had to call the police back and say, don't come, it's all just a misunderstanding. But yeah, basically, my dad came down to the pub in the middle of the night, like shouting me outside the pub, like trying to find me. And it was just.
That is brilliant. That is
Well, it's just-
amazing.
It's
Fatherly
lovely-
love.
Yeah, it's lovely that my dad is very, very. He's very like that instant. He'll like thinks that he thinks the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice, but
It's nice to know he cares about you.
It is, it
like,
is, it's lovely.
it's always nice to know that your parents care.
And will come with his baseball bat to knock anyone out who's trying to rob the pub
That's it.
in his
But
pajamas.
Yeah, I think the pajamas are the most menacing bit. But I think that was so long ago now. That was, and it's like
Oh,
such
that
a
was-
far.
You've not
such a
had the
far
pub very
cry.
long, had you? To be fair.
No. So I think that's why it was so kind of
Yeah, on edge.
jittery. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's such a far cry from now where we're closed and kind of
Yeah.
we're kind of in limbo, kind of waiting for the next move from GovT or the
Speaking-
government, as we say.
To be fair, speaking of, they've actually done something this week, haven't they, the government? And they've opened zoos.
Oh yes, yeah.
After all the commotion about like Chester Zoo worrying that they're going to close and all the animals are worrying about all the animals, they've managed to get them open again.
Yeah, I think there was some petitions. Weren't you saying that before the government have said they could open it because they're worried that they're gonna all the animals basically they won't be able to feed them.
Well, yeah,
Hadn't-
basically, there's like Chester Zoo, and obviously, like all zoos have been struggling from this, but Chester Zoo in particular,
Be like the
they were saying
forefront.
they were going to have to shut, and they don't know what they were going to do with all the animals. They're on about starting to put animals down. They were that worried about them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Very
like
sad.
it got that bad, and because they just weren't making enough income, and obviously, imagine how much it is to feed a bloody tiger, for God's sake, and a lion. You know what I mean? It can't be cheap.
I did see something. It was something stupid like 60k every. It was something dumb like every week or maybe even like less, like even more than that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like every day or maybe. And it was something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be cheap, can it? I mean,
No.
No.
and basically, they were on, obviously they were really worried they were gonna have to shut and everything. Then there were GoFundMe pages, and you know, Iceland, as in the shop, not the country.
Yeah.
They adopted all the penguins and things like that, and paid for all the penguins to live because they were like honestly, they were like, literally on about like killing all the animals. Basically.
Iceland planning on putting them just in the freezer
Iceland
section.
was like, if you don't feed these animals, I'm gonna come round there, I'm gonna shoot them all.
Wow.
Oh my God, Jack, you're on a bit of a weird one today.
That was
that is
very
a
much
lie.
out of context.
I was thinking more like they were going to put the penguins in the freezer section, like in terms of like roaming around, nice and cold for them.
Yeah, no. Obviously, Iceland don't condone killing animals. Other shops are available.
I don't think they ever insinuated that, Jack. I think you just said it.
I think I've just insinuated that.
Yeah, Jack's here slandering Iceland for adopting penguins.
But no, in good news, it's been found out today that zoos are allowed to open. So obviously they'll be making income again, and they will be allowed to keep their animals, and it'll all be
Great.
good. And all these animals won't have to die, and it'll be nice.
Well, that gives me an idea then, guys. Should we just turn the Tupton Tap into a zoo?
Yeah.
It basically
why
is
not?
anyway. I mean, with me and Ollie there,
That's it.
Oh, it's not me.
it's
you.
about as close to a zoo as it gets. I mean, I'm just trying to pass on the blame, if I'm honest. It's about as close to a zoo as it gets.
And what we could do is it's a zoo that serves beer.
Yeah.
And then we could have like
We've already got a
someone-
license.
We could have someone's cat. Someone's cat in the corner. A few
Get a
dogs.
pub dog.
I think that'd work. And
I think you should get a pub dog.
definitely, I'm looking into it. I'm sourcing one.
Not at the minute though, 'cause at the minute they're stupidly expensive.
Ah, yes. We were looking at this. Dogs. I don't like the idea of paying for dogs. I think it's horrible putting a price on a life.
I mean, there's
God,
paying
you're
for
one of those.
dogs, but if you're paying for a dog and you're going to pay all that money for a dog, adopt.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I said, like, at least I'm saving a dog. That's what I'm kind of looking at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll have one soon. But it's just whenever we reopen, because at the moment they're working towards the 4th of July. But then
Yeah.
something that came up the other day about the 22nd of June. But
It's
I've
gone
been
back apparently it's gone back to the 4th of July, though, now.
well, I've been researching that, and that was just some ministers that just said it. Like some MPs have just gone, "Oh yeah, it would be nice if we could," and everyone's gone, "Oh,
And everyone's
22nd.
ran with it, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah." And
Yeah.
like, what's his name? Weatherspoons. He's gone, "I'm gonna be open on Monday, me." and it's like, you what?
I mean, can I just say,
Is it Tim Martin? That's his name.
I can't remember his name, but as much as I love Weatherspoons as a company, and I'm all for cheap beer and cheap food, he is a bloody bellend.
Yeah. I was researching this because there was this big thing about his not paying his staff and all that.
Yeah.
Well, apparently in the end he did. I don't know whether it was pressure from like.
I think it was full on pressure. It was. I remember even after the furlough thing came out, it was still
Yeah.
being weird about it.
It was like he was instantly on it, going, nope, not doing it. It's like, well, might just give it a week or two,
Yeah,
and just see what happens. Because now he just looks like more of an idiot for saying stuff like that.
Yeah. He's one of them people, and it's like I remember with all the Brexit thing, he was like, he's just a bellend.
And whichever side you are on Brexit,
Yeah,
he was kind of putting.
It was taking one side or the other. He was just being a bellend about everything.
Well, it was like it was putting on these tables in these bars, like kind of basically like pamphlets on like why we should leave and stuff. And it's like fair enough, but it's like you're using your. I don't know. It's
leverage, aren't you?
There's nothing legally wrong with it. It just feels a bit like you're going for a pint.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think it forces your own views on someone, and you should never bring that into a business, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the cornerstone of his business is beer and food. Not you don't go. I don't go there to get my daily dose of politics.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Well, and if you do, you go and talk to like the old men who are standing around the high up tables.
Yeah, because that's where you get all your great politics information from.
But yeah, it's just one of them things where it's just obviously got no sense of what's the word I'm looking for, like decorum, you know what I mean? It's like you don't do that. It's like going into a pub and just going, so how much money do you earn a day?
I think it's
How much do you make a day?
I think it's like I think he's so big, it doesn't matter because it's not going to damage the reputation.
He's going to get away with it either way.
You can't call him Fat Ollie.
I think calling him fat, but it's kind of like Elon Musk. Like he'll do stuff because he knows that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
how
Elon Musk does it knowing it doesn't matter. He does it because he doesn't realise he's being a bellend.
I think he probably does. I just think he knows it. He doesn't. Like, he knows it.
He's just speaking his mind.
Whatever he says, it's going to have no influence on the business.
Probably.
Because it's that big of a business.
Probably.
Yeah.
To be fair, you're probably all right. It's probably all a big publicity stunt.
I suppose though, if he does open on Monday, he'll literally get shut down because he's not allowed. He doesn't get a free pass card because he's the biggest pub in
I mean, if
the
he's
UK.
opening on Monday.
We're all open on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of a way to say it that doesn't make us sound like knobheads. But yeah.
At the moment, today on the briefing, I think they said about they are aiming for the 4th of July. How they did actually say, but it could move.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't know if I think at the moment, if the risk level doesn't drop, then there's no way we're going to open, which is sad. But I'd rather everyone who comes in the pub be safe and we all can have a nice time together.
At the end of the day, no one wants to be coming to the pub and risking a beer for their life, do they? You know what I mean?
Well, that's not
what we're about.
Or for someone else's life, or for the family's life.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
That's not what we're about.
There's
more important things.
I'd rather be give a big old hug.
Yeah.
And go, everything's alright. Don't worry.
But if we can't, we can't.
Yeah. And it's one of the things I was thinking about. I was talking to Jack about this the other day. He said about the bar itself. We have 8 pan pumps on the bar. I don't think when we reopen we'll be able to have 8 on instantly. Cause
no, of course we don't.
We'll have to actually limit the footfall ourselves because we have to be safe about it.
And we're on about the back bar as well, because obviously we've got a massive bar when you think about it. I mean, not size wise, but beer wise.
I think we've got
we've got 3 lagers, a side, 3 ciders,
20 taps/pumps altogether.
That's mental. Imagine after all this, you're going in and touching 20 taps, and then someone else touching 20 taps, and then touching the beer that they've been served. It's just, you think about it now, and you think it's mental.
I think it's more.
It's not even that. It's more the fact that with all that beer will go off. Like we're not gonna be able to have the footfall to sell that beer.
Yeah. No, obviously, obviously that's why we won't put it on. But I'm more thinking of imagine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's gonna be hard for brewers as well because, whenever they announce that we can open again, they've got to make sure they've made enough beer to be able to go. Instantly they can go out there
back into it straight away.
the interview that we've got coming up with Mark Booth, he's from Crosspool Ale Makers, and he makes real ale. He makes keg beer as well, and we're gonna have a chat to him about how kind of he's like planning for when all this happens again, which is a lovely insight. But it'd be interesting to know like how kind of breweries are gonna, because they are the first line. It's breweries, then it's the pub. Like I think I've spoke to Green King in the past week, and they've literally cut down from their massive range of beers, because they own so many breweries. They cut down to 4 beers, core beers.
Are huge. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. It's hard to actually understand how big.
Not that
Green King are.
not that you'd buy a Green King beer. To be fair.
Well, I don't mind a pint of Abbott. A good
I forgot.
A good
I
pint
forget
of Abbott.
Abbott is Green King. I don't know how I forget that.
I've got a weird
Like it's not
relationship with
shit.
Green King. There's a lot of Green King beer I really don't like, but there's also a lot of Green King beer I do like. It's just, you know what I mean. It's one of them it's one of them breweries where I either love the beer they do or really, really despise it. It's just which side of the line it lands on.
You were saying, Jack, that you find that they have an aftertaste that you're not a fan of.
like you know the IPA.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to like it, I just can't. It's got like a weird aftertaste to it. But like the Abbott,
Everyone says that.
but like the Abbott Ale has got I really like the Abbott Ale.
I think it's like got a sweetness to it. It's rich, and I think that's great. And it's a very old beer anyway. Well, not very old.
Yeah,
but
it's one of the
older.
only beers that I'm like, you know what I mean, by a big brewery that I actually like.
And then I think they've got one called Yardbird, to be honest, and I don't mind that. It's like a session pale ale.
Yardbird alike again, one of the good ones. What was that like craft beer they brought out that we had on
Is
the
it
craft one?
Icebreaker?
Icebreaker, Icebreaker, something like that. That's very nice.
That was Icebreaker was described to me as the competitor to Punk IPA.
I mean that's probably a bit of a stretch, but it is nice.
Yeah, Punk IPA is so hard to compete with.
You can't. Yeah, it's one of them. Isn't it? It's so hard to even compare a beer to it.
But that Icebreaker, that was made. They had like a young brewers contest. They actually teach someone how to brew, and then that was one of their beers that they came up with.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I rate that. I do rate that.
it's good, isn't it?
I like that idea. To be fair.
You can't beat it. Anyway, so we spoke earlier about we're talking about cask ale and breweries and stuff, and we've basically got an interview that has been pre-recorded between myself, Charlie, and Mark. And obviously, in this we'll be covering what's going to be going on with breweries. So I think what we're going to do now, guys, is we'll flick to the interview and then we'll be back shortly.
It's the Tupton Tap.
It's the Tupton Tap, isn't it?
So hi, Mark. Thanks for meeting with me. It's strange times, especially with the brewery trade and the pub as well. I suppose it'd be rude not to ask the very topical question of how is your lockdown going?
Well, it just means I've got to drink all the beer myself.
Sounds pretty good, that.
No, it's all right. We've done a couple of socially distanced events, just like as a brewery tap. Got a few taps set up, and we've been doing that every few weeks just to turn some beer over. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as everybody else. Just keep doing quizzes online. That's what everyone does every night.
Yeah, see, I think I've got about 4 going at the moment each week, and it's getting a bit too much.
We'll all be really clever at the end of it.
I don't think I will. I think I'll be all the beer that I'm drinking, I think it's destroying brain cells. But anyway, for listeners who don't know you, could you just give us a little bit of a history of Crosspool Ale Makers Society?
Yeah, so I'm Mark and I'm the brewer at Crosspool Ale Makers Society. We've been going about a year now. I keep saying we, it's pretty much just me. And we brew off a little 4.5 barrel kit, about 600 litres we get out. And we just supply local, Sheffield, Chesterfield. Obviously, you guys have had some down there.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
And the surrounding areas. So yeah, that's it.
Lovely. So I was also doing a bit of a deep dig on your Facebook, and I noticed that it transferred from hopscotch and you'd gone to Crosspool Ale Makers. What's the story there?
Yeah, so hopscotch was me and a mate of mine. It was actually my mate who got me into homebrewing first up. We used to homebrew together, and then we started hopscotch just as a little partnership, and that were a really small commercial setup. We were brewing like 100 litres at a time, but then I wanted to upscale, and Joe weren't that bothered about brewing commercially anymore, so I decided to go it alone and change the name, and it became Crosspool Ale Makers Society.
Oh, well, good stuff. It seems like it's doing pretty well, to be honest. I'm seeing it everywhere. I see a lot of pubs in Sheffield, like Three Thirds Beer Co. I've seen them advertise it a little bit and things like that. What pubs in general do you mainly go for in Sheffield?
I like to sort of try and target the little independent micropubs. So like Two Thirds, like you said, they're a good one. They have a bit of beer off me, and I've been trying to buy beer off them as well. So I've been down a couple of times in lockdown because I've got to try and keep everyone open single-handedly.
That's it, innit?
But yeah, it's the little place like the Itchy Pig at Broomhill. That's another little micro pub that's really cool. And then a couple of the old sort of traditional cask ale pubs like the Fat Cat or the Sheep Stew, places like that. Anywhere that'll buy it, really, they can have it.
Yeah.
As long as they clean the lines and serve it well. That's the only two things I ask.
Well, that's it. I suppose that could be the worrying thing as a brewer is you want your beer to be represented well on the bar, and when you haven't got pubs cleaning lines properly, I can imagine it's a bit of an insult in some ways.
Yeah, I've got to be careful, and to be fair, there's not many places that I've refused to sell to on a follow-up time. There were one recently. I don't even know how it had happened, but they missed one of the casks that I'd sold them. They forgot they had it and decided to put it on about 2 months out of date.
Oh,
but luckily, due to the magic of Untapped, I saw somebody had it and didn't like it, so I went to the pub and sure enough, it was on the bar. I was like, this is well out of date. You need to take it off.
Yeah, especially as you're as you were saying, Crosspool Ale Makers by yourself. You've just started it up. It's you want everything people try to be great, and you want it to be a good representation of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the most important time, because if people are trying it for the first time and it's rubbish, they're not going to try it a second time. So this is when I need people to enjoy the beer that I'm making.
Definitely. Well, I always make sure we clear our lines thoroughly before we put your beer on. Just for you, man. Just for
Thanks,
you.
mate. All the other ones are dirty. It's just the lines that mine's on. That's good.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously you mentioned before about in lockdown you've been doing some pop-up events for takeaway beer for yourselves. How's that been going? Have you noticed it's been going well?
Yeah, we've had a really good turnout. We've been doing a booking system so we can make sure people don't all turn up together, you see, keep distances between people and stuff. And we've been booking all the slots out, and it's mainly people all around where the brewery is, because it's quite a good community around here. So when people see that there's a new business, they do try and support it. That's
great. It's what we find at the Tupton Tap. It's very community based, and they want to support as much as they can. As long as I say it's a good product, which Crosspool is, they always jump on it. Do you have a little compliment, sir?
Yeah, you're doing well, mate. Keep going.
Massaging the ego.
I don't need that massaging anymore.
Good stuff. Well, I would, obviously I'm in Chesterfield, I would try and pop down to this event. Is your next one, is it next week?
Next week, we're starting on Wednesday the 17th, because that's when the Premier League comes back. So I figured a few people might want some beer. So we're starting on Wednesday the 17th, carrying on through the weekend until Sunday the 21st, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So is that from the brewery itself as well?
Yeah, we just set up on the drive or in the garden, because the brewery's connected to my house, you see. It is like the typical man in shed brews beer in old pots. So we just set up on the garden and got a couple of portable keg machines, and we just serve out of that. So it's been going all right. I've got a guest from Thornbridge on as well on the next one. I've got hold of a keg of theirs just to mix it up a bit, but there's ours on too.
Which Thornbridge is that?
Astrid.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So yeah, there'll be 3 of my beers on, and then some Astrid as well for people who don't like my beer.
I think they'll love it. They'll love it. Definitely. So when I think of Crosspool, as well as great beer, great artwork always comes to mind. 'Cause I'm loving the Sheffield references, and especially I like the Magnum PI immortalised in IPA form.
Yeah.
You've got a new one out called Do the Bartman?
Do the Bartman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the
So that's great, and I think it's very eye catching. And that's kind of wonder what was like the brainstorming process behind like the quirky design / who designs them.
Well, my original range was always intended to look quite traditional. And I wanted a range that was completely different to that. So I came up with the names, and then I've got a really good designer called Robbie, and he's one of the guys behind Booze Hound down at Cutlery Works. I mean, that's another bar that I've got to give a shout out to, because they have beer off me, and it's a great little bar. Robbie does all the designs. I just say, here's the name, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and then I just let him do whatever he wants.
Runs with it.
And he goes with it, and he captures what I want perfectly, because it's all about retro pop culture. Straight out of Crosspool and all the NW reference and everything. And the Bart Simpson one, and then, like you said, Magnum. Because I used to love watching Magnum back then.
It is very good. And I like, again, it's that idea using local people to help with your local brand, and I can't get much better than that, really, can it? It's got to keep it local, support each other, and especially at the moment. I mean, it's the time where really we've all got to try and support each other, because if we don't, there's going to be businesses that don't reopen, and we don't want that to happen. Definitely not. I think there's a lot of worries pubs from the community I'm in.
Yeah.
Especially micro pubs. They can't. If they had social distancing in their pubs, you'd have 2 people in.
Exactly. Exactly. It's good to see most people are managing just to adapt the business model slightly. I mean, I've always been trying to help a couple of the ones around here that weren't sure whether to open or not, and we were sort of exchanging ideas on how they can make it work. And because obviously with us doing these events that we've been doing, I know there are ways to make it work. It's just having the guts really to have a go at it.
That's it. And I think I'm understanding when I reopen, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a bit of a hard slog. But I think hopefully we'll look back next year and go, we made it.
Hopefully so.
Hopefully, touch wood. So talking about the Tupton tap, we've had a few of your beers on. We've had On the Loose and we've had Sandygate. I always used to describe On the Loose as in like the same vein as Thornbridge Jaipur in terms of like the strong ABV. It's quite hoppy, and that was my way of like kind of getting people into drinking it.
That's another compliment, because Jaipur's a great beer, isn't it?
It's a great beer, but obviously that you're On the Loose still has its own character. And my question is, if you had to describe your beer to the listeners right now who've never tried it, what would you say in terms of your range of beer? What's your characteristics you like?
Okay, I don't like loads of hops. On the Loose is a little bit different, but it's a modern twist on traditional beer. I'm predominantly I'm a cask beer brewer, but a lot of my range now I'm trying to twist it up, and I'm doing a lot more keg stuff. So it's a modern twist on traditional beer, is how I describe it.
Oh, I like that. It's it's good. I think you answered my question.
I like putting fruit in stuff as well. I mean, I don't do it with all the beers, and I haven't done it too much recently because it can get quite expensive to make beer.
Yeah.
I like using real fruit, and again, just another twist on traditional recipes. And you just chuck some passion fruit in or something like that. I don't know, just whatever you fancy. Whatever's left in the fridge, whatever's rotting in the bottom of the fridge, I put that in there. I don't really.
That's it. Whatever's hanging around, just whack it in. I like I like mango in beer. I think that's great.
Well, that's in the Magnum. There's mango and passion fruit in the Magnum.
Sounds good.
But it's like really intense. That was supposed to be like a Hawaiian punch, but as a so that's really intense, and it's not for everyone, that one, to be honest. But the people who do like it seem to buy a lot of it. So
yeah, I think I might be one of those people. I've recently just bought some grapefruit beers, but they taste like San Pellegrino.
Yeah.
So that's I like sweet beers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. That is.
Yeah, good.
You mentioned before about you you just like, are you a 4-barrel brew?
Yeah, it's like I've got different sized tanks, so you can't really say for certain. It's kind of been cobbled together from tanks from different breweries. So it's about, I think it's about 4.5, something like that.
Do you ever find any limitations with that, or is
Not
it nice
so much.
to have a small brewery?
The 7% Delphaus beer that I did, I've only really made that once. That is limited by the mash tun a little bit. It gets right to the top. I have to use so much grain. So you only ever limited when you want to. I would never be able to make a 10% beer in any kind of quantity.
Yeah.
Because
nothing imperial.
Pardon?
Nothing imperial.
Something like an imperial stout or something, 10%. It just wouldn't happen. I'd end up with about 2 kegs.
Yeah,
I can't put the malt in. But I'm going to move to brew with Exit 33. Well, at brewery eventually soon. Once all this is over, they've got a bigger kit than me, so then maybe I will be able to come out with a 10% imperial. You never know.
That could be a new niche, just 10% imperial.
Just really mad stuff.
Yeah. So, what are you planning on doing a brewery share with another brewery?
Yeah, that's the plan going forward. It's great having my little kit here, and maybe I will keep some sort of small test kit here, but ultimately it'll just give me a bigger kit to brew on if I go and brew at a bigger brewery and get their full capacity used. If the brewery's not at capacity, we may as well share.
That's it. It makes sense, and it's just making use of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So we ask all our guests on our podcast. We've already had one. You're our second guest, so we asked our last guest. If you had to drink any beer for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh, man. That's a good one. I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm not supposed to have too much gluten, because I have to go for the gluten-free stuff nowadays. So I'm going to ignore that. I really, really like Sea-Bomb by Brew Foundation.
Brew Foundation, Sea-Bomb.
Yeah.
So what's that like? I've never tried that. What's it like?
It's citrusy. I think it's 4 point something percent. And it's just a nice, refreshing beer. It's just a proper beer. And I do really like Sea-Bomb.
A summer's day, kind of hot weather.
Yeah, other beers are available, and I wouldn't turn them down offered to me. But yeah, I do regularly tell people that Sea-Bomb is my favourite beer out of Sheffield. Fair enough. So yeah,
I really wouldn't. I wouldn't have minded if you said a Crosspool beer.
No, I'm allowed to pick my own.
Yeah, you could have. You missed that
straight
one.
Out of Crosspool's really good. I'm very
shameless. Shameless plug. Go for it.
But no, yeah, Sea-Bomb, and then quite a lot. I drink quite a lot of the Abbeydale beers because a lot of their range is gluten free. You see, so or it goes through the process of breaking the gluten down, whatever. I really like their beers, Serenity and stuff like that. There's some great Abbeydale gluten free beers.
Yeah, some good beers. I know you mentioned when I saw you last, when you dropped some beer off, that you. With Crosspool beers, you have tried to make them gluten-free. Yeah,
I had a go. And moving forward, I think I'm going to try and make the entire range gluten-free, or at least gluten-reduced. Like I say, I'm not celiac, so I don't have to start looking at brewing with completely different grains. I'm just going to try and lower the gluten content in them, but I will do that moving forward. I've experimented with it. It's just about getting it right.
Is it? Cause am I correct? If they're doing the test, you have to send your beer off to get tested.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to say it's gluten free, you can. I don't know. I could make it gluten free and not put it on the cans. I've been doing it for my benefit more than anything. I've got all this beer lying around, and I tend not to drink my beer much now. But, because it's not gluten free. Although I do have the odd one or two, obviously.
Yeah. That's all right, isn't it? So we've talked a lot about beer. which seems very apt, seeing as you're a brewer and I run a pub. But also, I had a different job before I started running a pub, and I kind of wanted to know, what did you do before you started brewing? Did you have a different life completely? Was it?
I've done all sorts.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some qualifications in like health and safety stuff, so I still do a bit of that anyway. But I think immediately before coming back to the UK and starting brewing, I spent some time working in Middle East on like a protection team, personal protection team. So I worked out there for a bit. That was what I did immediately before coming back here. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. So it's a very different kind of
it's
lane.
Not exactly the same, is it? Brewing beer, you don't have to go as far.
That's it. Well, all the beer might go far though.
Well, yeah. You can't even get beer in Qatar, mate. I was there for a year, and like, you can't even drink.
Oh man.
Well, I didn't drink. You can go to some places, but I didn't. So yeah, don't be taking beer out there.
No, it'd probably be a bit risky, can't it?
Yeah.
I've heard some horror stories. I've also heard in a past life you've had a song written about yourself.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I had to bring this one up.
Yeah. I used to be in a band with some of the guys out of Little Man Tate, who are reforming soon. And
Tickets on sale now.
And before we were in the band, we used to have the odd house party that eventually got immortalised in song by one of the Little Man Tate. It was one of the Little Man Tate songs. So yeah.
Yeah. This legendary song, House Party Boobies.
Yeah, they were always at
good.
my house, the parties. I didn't know, nobody else can take credit for it. They were at my house.
Yeah. You could have made the beer from as well if you were brewing early as well.
Yeah, I know. I've kind of toyed with the idea of it, but we'll see how the reunion goes first.
That's it. You don't want to, the reunion be a bit bad and then your beer don't sell well.
Yeah. Or maybe the beer's bad that makes the reunion not go well. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I like your beer.
Cheers.
There we go again. So it's nice to get a bit of a backstory. So to kind of finish off, I just kind of wanted to know, what have you got in the pipeline for Crosspool Ale Makers? What's in the immediate future? What you're looking in a year's time?
Well, we've got the brewery move, which means I'll be making more beer, hopefully. We've got the big move over into predominantly keg beer, and I'm going to sort of reduce the cask range. And we're still on the lookout for a little bar for ourselves. It's just waiting for the right place to come up. There's no rush. I'll just take it as it comes, see what happens. There's a bit of a plan there, but it is subject to change. So
that's it. I think especially at the moment we're in a bit of a limbo, but I can imagine the next year bar will definitely pop up somewhere.
Oh, I hope so. I don't want it to be too far away from where we are, you see, because it's the whole point of the brewery: stay local, community, that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll get somewhere nearby.
You could turn your front room into a bar.
Well, I've thought about it. I've been out in the garden thinking, can I build something? It's like, there's so many options, but one of them will eventually happen. Just get all this out of the way first, and hopefully just start making a little bit more beer over the next 12 months.
Definitely. Grand stuff. Well, it's been lovely talking to you anyway, Mark.
You too, mate.
We'll keep it short and sweet, but hopefully I hope the listeners enjoy listening to your beer escapades.
And my monotonous voice.
Yeah. lovely Sheffield voice.
Yeah, I hope they do. Right. I hope they enjoy it.
Good stuff. And that was our interview with Mark Booth from Crosspool Ale Makers Society. If you want to support him, check him out on Facebook, and they've got a pop-up event coming up next week where you should all go down to.
It's the Tupton tap, isn't it?
A lovely little chat. Did you guys enjoy the chat?
Yeah.
Everyone was just drinking the beer or texting at that point when I asked that question.
I was finishing my beer. I nearly choked on it.
I really enjoyed that interview. So thank you very much for him to doing that.
Very good, wasn't it? I think you're all very relaxed into it. So we've come to the segment of the podcast where we review a beer. My favourite part of the podcast means we get to have a drink.
I mean, I think everyone knows it's my favourite part of the podcast by now.
Well, Jack,
I normally don't like the beer, to be honest with you. So
Ollie's least favourite part of the podcast.
yeah,
well, Jack's normally drunk by this point, and Ollie's just hates it. So
What do you mean normally?
normally, always. So Ollie, do you want to tell us what you've bought us this week?
no, not really.
Okay, Ollie hates beer that much. You don't want to tell us. Jack, do you want to tell us what beer we've got this week?
Well, on the side of it, I've just been reading, it says, this American craft beer, so we know it's American, we know it's a craft beer, is best
Say it in
served
American
cold
accent.
and enjoyed when fresh.
Ooh.
So there we go. It's the Sierra, Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA. It's a session edition. It's
So-
4.6%.
So you say it's a session edition, and that is because they do a stronger version as well, which
Do
is
they?
yeah, which is a 6.7%, whereas this is
Should have bought that one.
4.6.
All right.
This is
all
4.6, so I hope that's not 4.6.
I'm on the website now. I'm
okay.
I'm being a bit of a beer nerd before we drink
Right.
it.
Right then. Should we have a
It says
Have it-
it's imported to the UK by SNBC UK. So,
shout out to SMCB?
there you go. I'm trying to find bits of information on it, but normally, like, craft ale has loads of information on that, but this one's quite, doesn't really
It's
say.
American.
I think we let the tasting do the talking.
I think we
God.
do.
Kill me. Right, come on. Right, should we open it?
Yeah, I don't think they display it on the website. Let's have a
It's
look.
got
Okay.
a very lovely
Right,
can
we're
cast there.
gonna open it, boys. Gonna open
Go on
it.
then,
Ready for this?
do
Ready
your
for this?
crack, Ollie. Ooh.
Jack, you
Right.
go for yours.
I'm going for mine. Are you ready?
Ah,
I'm
that
ready
smells
for
really-
mine.
Go on then.
Oh,
That was slow.
nice.
It smells very
Ooh.
nice. Smells very hoppy again.
Insanely hoppy.
Which isn't
you want-
a surprise because on the can it's a purple can with like an old scroll top and like a big middle that says Hazy Little Thing in it, and it's got loads of little hops around the edges. So I'm not surprised it's hoppy, if I'm honest.
So right then, should we pour it out into our glasses then?
Let's go for it.
Sound job. It's very hoppy in it. Smell.
Smells
Yeah,
very hoppy.
it's not what I'd like. Obviously, I don't like hoppiness, so that's not great for me.
No.
I love
so
a hop.
I'm on a website now, just getting all the kind of what do you call it,
The bits and
the-
bobs, the tasty notes and all that.
the definite tasting notes. So it's an unfiltered, unprocessed, hazy little thing. That's what it says.
Does that mean it's vegan friendly?
It may be. Well, I'll have to double check on that.
It says it's family owned and operated and argued over, if that makes any help. So
Yeah. It obviously says it's very hop heavy, and from the smell of it and the taste, it's so hoppy, like it's in your face hoppy. And then it's brewed with oats, wheat, in the grist for body. You can definitely
have
get.
you tasted it? I've not
It's
actually
de-
tasted it yet.
So when you taste it, Jack,
Alright.
you'll really feel that thick mouthfeel, and Ollie as well.
Oh, like you know when you
Right,
have
are we
cocktails
tasting-
and you
are we
put egg
tasting now
white
or
in
not?
it. Is it that sort of mouthfeel?
I'm
Oh,
only
it's-
drinking, mate.
I mean, I'm
went
just gonna
straight
go for it. I'm just gonna go for
Oh,
it.
that is vile.
Is it-
fucking disgusting?
Is it worse or better than the one that tasted like shoes?
Mate, I'd rather drink out of shoes
I actually
than
quite
that
like
shit.
this.
That is oh man.
Oh man.
I mean, like I told you at the start, I've been drinking Duvel, so. But no, I quite like that. It's quite light and refreshing.
Yeah, completely. I think I think with Ollie, he doesn't like hoppiness.
It doesn't
No,
like
I
beer
don't.
full stop is the problem with Ollie.
And basically, if anyone wants to know the hops, I think it's all US hops. We've got Citra, Magnum, Simcoe, Comet, Mosaic, and El Dorado.
How many hops? That's loads.
That's more than your what's it called? Than your Duvel.
Duvel
1, 2,
triple
3,
hop.
4, 5, 6. We've got 6 hops in here.
Blimey hell, that's insane. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's not quite as thick as if anyone's into the cocktails. If you put egg white in a cocktail, it makes it really thick and gives it like a thick mouthfeel and a foam. It's not
Yeah.
that thick, but it is really thick.
you can definitely sticks around in your mouth a bit. And it's a bit more.
Like you can almost chew it.
Yeah. And obviously this is a.
You can almost chew it.
This is a supermarket beer. This is so you can get this from your local Tesco or any other reputable shops. I assume it's
Where did you get this from, Ollie? Is it a Tesco?
Mr. Ollie. Is it from a Tesco?
What
Ollie?
did I say? Sorry.
Is this a
sorry.
Tesco?
Oh, sorry, my bad voice. This is from a Tesco, yes.
Is this bloody teenager's on his bloody phone again? Can't get him out of it.
In the middle
No,
of a
sorry,
podcast.
I've just
we
got
should
stuff going on at the
explain.
minute, that's all.
The point of this part of the podcast is like obviously we're all in lockdown. We're trying to bring good beer to you from your local supermarket, and this one is courtesy of Tesco. So have a look for your Sieraa. I've done it again. Sieraa
And also-
Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA. It's a good one.
And if you want to look for the stronger version, which isn't session, which is 6.7, get it. Let us know let us know in the comments if it's any good. I'd love to know. I'm guessing they did a session version to lower the tax on it. Maybe. It's normally what they do.
Yeah, especially for import.
Yeah.
It's also I feel like I prefer a session edition normally. I feel like proper full on is a bit sometimes can go too strong with an IPA. You get a bit carried away.
See, this one kind of reminds me of that shoe
nice.
beer we had. Anytime that
But
Ollie
not
buys a
as
beer, yeah, not as shoey. It's really juicy. It says here it shouldn't have a lot of bitterness, but to me it's still quite bitter. It's just got a lot of hops in it. I don't know.
Yeah, it comes with hops though, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I suppose if you do like if you want to have a session beer, you don't want to get too wavy on a weekday night, and you just want to have a very hoppy drink, the Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA might be up your street, I reckon.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not condoning that. I'm not doing that.
The man who only
boys.
drinks cider.
No, that's a lie. That's fake news. But
Donald Trump over here.
but nah, honestly, boy, that's the fucking worst one.
Do you think? Do you genuinely think?
Deary me.
Nah, that is disgusting.
I don't mind that.
I can't. Sorry, that doesn't taste it. Oh man, it is that like as soon as you drink it, you get that hit in like the back of your throat.
I'll be honest with you, Ollie.
I think you don't like hops.
I think it is hops.
I don't normally go. When someone says craft beer, I never go Sierra Nevada. I think it's just it is a craft beer, but it's such a big name nowadays.
Is it? I've never heard of them.
Why are we trusting you to get beer? God knows why.
Because I had to grab it on the way home.
Yeah, you did. And I'd had a drink, so I couldn't drive.
Oh, yeah.
As normal. But yeah, I think we should probably go into the review now.
I think we go back to buying beer next week. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yeah, completely. Don't let this scallywag get beer for us. Otherwise, it'll taste like shoes.
I'll tell you what I do want to do is one day, maybe hopefully on the podcast, I want so we can so we get like two different types. I probably already talked about like two different types of say like wine, like probably like a more premium brand and less premium brand, and see like if put it like in like a plain bottle and see if we can tell the difference.
What would also be cool?
We have already talked
let's
about
just
this.
review something other than beer next week. Should we do that? Should we vow that? We'll
I'd say
review
a bottle
of wine
other than
each.
beer next week. Like
What
maybe
we can do is
a cider or a wine or something like that.
No, I've got it. Well, you'll send a bottle of water from your house. Ollie sends one from his house, and I'll send one from my house, and then we'll just compare water.
Just water, just plain tap water.
No, but we don't live far enough apart. I can they'll taste the same.
I'm getting some hoppiness from Ollie's. Real hoppiness. Jack's tastes like old shoes. Definitely.
No,
Yes.
genuinely though, I reckon I'm gonna buy us all a bottle of
A bottle of wine each.
a bottle of wine or something like that, some cheap wine, and we'll review it.
So are we going to go for like a 30 bottle of wine, and then we'll go for Tesco's value?
Yes.
Pay
Yeah,
stripper.
yeah.
Because
We'll do
Tesco
that,
Valley
we'll
comes
do
in like a
that.
carton, doesn't it? It comes in a carton of wine. How mad's that?
So bad.
Oh, I love it. Mate,
that's
it's got to be
definitely-
premium.
I bet Ollie will love that as well. But,
Right.
they're good stuff.
Oh man.
Anyway, let's do the review.
Yes, go on then. Jack, do you want to start?
I think it's a strong, it's a strong beer. Not as in strong as in strength, but strong as in it's actually quite nice. It's nothing special, but it's quite nice. I'd say I'll give it a 6 because I'm feeling generous.
Give it a 6. You generous man. I'm gonna jump in there straight after you and go. It's gonna get a 4.5 from me. 4.5.
4.5.
It's not.
Yeah, I feel that's
to
quite
me.
harsh.
It's great if you want to have a session beer that doesn't really offend you, but to me, it's a bit leaves me feeling a bit like, why did I drink that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing
And-
special. It's nothing special.
Something. You in a Sieraa, Nevada, nothing special.
So like my turn. So I'm gonna shock you guys a bit.
Shock us, go on.
I'm gonna go for a 5.
What? Fucking hell.
No, I'm joking, bollocks. It's a 1. Nah, it's a 1 all the way. If I could go lower, I probably would. Again, this is no disrespect to the company. I don't
Sounds like it
want
is.
suing. I just don't like the beer because I don't like beer. Thank you very much.
You're definitely never get a job there, mate.
So,
Mate, I'm not gonna lie. Every week we come up and you're guys like, "Oh, that's not my beer. That's not my beer." And then I get it. It's like, nah.
You're just like vomiting in your bin or something.
I'm not gonna lie, mate. I've had 2 sips, and it'll be on my desk for the next 2 days while I get round to chucking it away.
Bloody teenagers. Leaving stuff on the desks, on the phones all the time.
Shut up.
fucking hell.
I'm only like 2 years older than you, so I don't know what I'm saying.
So,
Well, you're not a teenager, are you? Well, we're 19
Yeah.
until November.
oh my
What?
god.
Oh.
No, we're technically teenagers.
We are, yes.
Yeah, technically we're teenagers. Oh, Charlie, you're not.
I'm in my. I'm trying to
In
think
his
of some
prime.
alliteration. I'm in my tangfastic 20s. I don't know.
Anyway,
But I do feel old though. I feel like an old man.
You do look it. You do look it.
Thanks. I'm looking haggard. It's good thing we ain't got video this week because.
Oh no.
But
I'm not looking good this week, boys. I've not been looking after
you're
myself.
not looking good. I'm dressed like a fucking zebra, and Charlie looks like a domestic cat.
domesticated.
For anybody, for a bit of context, we've just done the quiz.
Yes.
Where we dressed up as animals. I didn't, because I'm a producer, you see, so I don't have to.
So
No.
Ollie's sat there. Ollie's saying, "Oh, I look all this. I look shit," in his fucking designer jumper, and we're all sat here looking like twats.
Ollie looks like a cat anyway, so it's alright.
I like a dog.
But you know, before we go, I've got some personal news.
Are you pregnant?
Yeah, I'm pregnant, guys. Just to let you know,
Charlie's pregnant.
it's a boy and a girl. No, so it's beer related, and I only actually reminded myself because an advert came up on the side of. Actually, I've got 2 beer related. I'll tell you both. An advert came up on the side of this Nevada website about Schloffhofer. Skoffelhofer, which is a grapefruit wheat beer. And there's a story behind this. I've been looking for this beer for 2 years straight. I couldn't remember the name of it. I just knew it tasted amazing. And then on Friday, I was on a phone call with someone from the company I work with for the pub, and I was like, yeah, I had this beer. Because basically we've had to get rid of a lot of beer, so we're just talking through the process of how we have to do it because it's gone out of date, so we have to get rid of it. So I've poured a lot of beer away. I do apologise. Anyone out there that wants to curse me, I've poured a lot of beer down a drain.
It wasn't your fault. You didn't really have a choice, did you?
Oh no, yes, I had to. My arm was up my back. I was like, boy. I was like, okay.
You literally had 4 bouncers round you, making sure you put it in the sink.
All socially distanced, so let me add.
All armed.
So that's the first bit of beer news. I've poured a lot of beer away in the past week. And also, on this phone call, I was talking about this beer. We just got into a chat, and I was like, I can't find it. And he was like, that's Skofferhofer or whatever it is. It's spelled SCHOFFERHOFER.
Where's that from then? 'Cause
That
that's
sounds
not.
German.
It's
nothing.
it's a wheat beer, so I think it may be Belgium.
Yeah,
But basically,
it sounds that the sort of region because the SCH.
Yeah, I agree, like European.
Yeah.
and then this guy basically there's a weak version, a strong version, but it's a weak one I love. Fully enough. It's
How weak?
2.8, I think.
Oh, that is very weak.
Is that all it was?
So
That's
nice.
so water.
Normally, like sour beers are quite strong to hide the sourness.
No, this is a wheat beer, Jack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was.
Are you not listening?
Sorry.
You're not listening.
No, I obviously was not listening.
These bloody teenagers.
These bloody
He's on his
teens.
phone.
But basically, it's like it tastes like San Pellegrino, you know, the soft drink,
Yeah.
but just alcoholic. It's great. It's so good. And I've
Would
ordered
you
like
recommend?
I would recommend.
Oh,
And
nice.
this is kind of like my happy ending story because I've finally found the beer that I've been looking for 2 years.
That is a
And
nice story.
I've ordered 6 cans of it, and they're currently stuck in the post office because the post office was closed today. And
How much was it for 6 cans out of curiosity?
it's like 15 quid.
15 quid for 6 cans. Are they pint
not
cans or are they half pint cans?
No, I think they're not pint. They're like just like the normal big can.
They're half.
Wait, are they big cans?
They're not
Should I
pint.
say? Are they like the big cans? Like you get like Foster's and Carlin, or are they like the
Yeah,
small
yeah.
cans? They get like pumpkin.
So it's not the Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA can. It's the Foster's can.
Oh my god!
No, so it's not.
I suppose
not,
that's less bad. I suppose
It's
it's
not the
yeah.
350ml one then. It's the other one, the bigger one.
The 500 ml. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
To be fair, at least it's the bigger one you're paying for, not the fucking minute one.
We like a bargain here at the Tupton Tap Podcast.
We do.
Anyway, I think that'd be a nice way to end it.
I
want to
agree.
tell everyone my lovely story how my long lost beer was finally found.
Great.
I can't wait
Thank
to
you very
try
much
it.
for today,
I feel like what's it called?
What's it called?
What's the nice beer called?
Schofferhofer.
Scofflehofer.
Schoffelhofer, I don't know.
I feel like I can't wait to try it.
I apologise for anyone ears I was just hurt.
Yeah, that's a headphone warning for you right there.
I say, try bring the gains down on that a bit.
I will. I'll turn Jack off.
Just turn him off.
Anyway, guys, so this has been the Tupton Tap Pubcast.
So yeah, thank you very much,
It
guys.
has.
I think it has anyway.
I think, well, unless we decide to rename it halfway through editing.
Maybe.
Aye.
It
The,
wouldn't be a surprise from us. if I'm honest.
the Oliver's always on his phone Pubcast, or
Right, I've been busy. I've had situation to deal with today. Right, chill out.
or the Jack thinks a wheat beer's a sour beer podcast.
Or that one. Yeah.
Or Charlie's dressed like a cat podcast.
So come join us next week for talking about what we're going to do to Charlie's van to modify it.
Yes,
yeah, to be fair.
the Tupton Tap has got its own van now, and we're going to modify it, but we're going to tell you next week.
Hint, hint. We're going to put 20-inch alloys on it,
Ah, yes, and a massive turbo in it, and some subs.
and yeah, massive subs. And we're going to put that air suspension.
I
where you
thought
can
it was already
bounce,
turbocharged.
It is, but we want to
Yeah.
put a bigger one on.
And we're going to drive to Belgium and pick up 100 cans of Schofferhofer.
Yes,
and
that,
Duvel triple hop.
Ah,
and
yes.
that. And his van's that big, we're all going to be social distance the whole way.
Yes, definitely. Anyway,
On that
guys, I've been Charlie.
I've been Ollie.
And I've been Trub.
Okay.
I'm jumping here.
That's
And
bit
this
backwards.
has been the Tupton Tap Pubcast. Have a lovely weekend. In a bit.
Thank you very much, guys. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
It's the Tupton Tap. It's the Tupton Tap, isn't it?